So right now, just with the potential of sort of immediate technologies of forward collision avoidance and technologies that will, prevent the truck from departing its lane, we can eliminate a lot of most of those really nasty fatal accidents. What happens in those accidents almost all the time is, in the highway situation is, a car is rear-ended by a truck. Now that's oftentimes not the truck's immediate fault. Cars often get in front, slam on their brakes or something like that. But a lot of times it's because the trucker does not, stop in time. The truck departs the lane. Sometimes it's because the driver's distracted or not paying attention, or some other reason that can be prevented. So, that's probably the biggest top line benefit that especially developers are focused on. But when you look at the trucking industry and how, especially these long haul jobs work, they're terribly inefficient. And if you could imagine having your biggest capital investment in that truck, and rather than having it actually moving and producing sort of the service of trucking, someone's using it as a rolling motel, more than half of the day usually. So if you look at these big trucks at these big firms that are likely to adopt self-driving technology, most of them only actually move on the highways 7.5 to 8.5 hours a day. The rest of the time is inefficient time. And there are lots of reasons for that. Independent contracting is one of them.
We'll get
Delays.
to that later, but basically there is this possibility that you could squeeze more work out of a truck. You could increase the
Oh,
productivity
absolutely. We could definitely double the productivity of a typical truck,
of a single truck.
of a single truck.
So that would make shipping much cheaper. We have the possibility of reducing accidents. What are the other possible benefits? Environmental?
There are potential environmental benefits. Certainly, most of the scenarios for automation have at least 5 to 10% fuel economy savings. You could redesign the truck to be more aerodynamic. The automated driving would be more fuel efficient than a human driver who's not quite as good at figuring out how much to accelerate and when and how to brake. We could also have platooning where trucks can follow closer together when they're connected to one another and automated, which cuts down a lot on that aerodynamic drag. So all of that could potentially, reduce the fuel consumption of trucks. Now that's assuming that when we make all of this, much cheaper, take out the human labor component and this fuel savings, that we don't increase, right, the amount of truck transportation and sort of wipe out all of those environmental benefits, which I do think is a real threat.